This is Autoline Daily, the show dedicated to enthusiasts of the global automotive industry. EV startup Rivian made a bit of history yesterday. CEO RJ Scaringe revealed in a tweet that the first R1T electric pickup for a customer rolled off the assembly line. Rivian plans to start delivering the pickup to customers sometime this month, which will make it the first automaker to put an electric truck in customer hands in the U.S. Despite its tiny size and puny range, the Wuling Hongguang Mini EV is tearing up the sales charts in China and is the #1 EV in the country. That's mainly due to it costing only a little more than $4,000, but it's about to get some more competition, with Chery Automobiles introducing its own tiny electric called the QQ Ice Cream. As you can see, it looks similar and is about the same size as the Wuling model, and its specs are a mirror image too. The ice cream has a top speed of 100 kilometers an hour, or 62 miles per hour, and its range is 175 kilometers, or about 109 miles. It looks like these small, cheap EVs could become a big part of the market in China, and that would be a headache for automakers selling higher-priced electrics, since they need that volume to help bring down costs. And in other China news, Baidu continues to gain a lot of experience offering taxi rides with autonomous cars. It's now operating in 5 cities in China and plans to offer the service in 25 cities over the next 3 years. The taxis have a safety driver and they operate on fixed routes, stopping at specific stations. But Baidu is clearly learning a lot about how to operate large-scale robot taxis. While it did not provide specific figures, it says it has cut the cost of taxi rides by 60% with its latest generation. IHS Markit forecasts that autonomous ride-sharing will be a $200 billion business in China by the end of the decade.
Mobility is becoming electric, connected, and autonomous, just like the manufacturing world. But will always be one thing: a reliable partner for our customers.
We want to know what drives your testing. OTA, connected car, diagnostics, remote testing. Intrepid Control Systems is here to help you work from anywhere. Intrepid Control Systems, driven by your data.
Traffic deaths are on the rise in the U.S., but a good chunk of those could be prevented if vehicles were equipped with automatic emergency braking, according to the supplier Bosch. It just released new data that shows the technology could mitigate or avoid 649,000 crashes with injuries or fatalities each year in the U.S. if every vehicle was equipped with AEB. That's a reduction of 35%. Currently, less than 5% of vehicles in the U.S. have the tech. To get more vehicles equipped with it, Bosch wants NHTSA to add crash avoidance to its new car assessment program, which currently rates vehicles based on crashworthiness and other factors. By including crash avoidance, Bosch says it could boost consumer awareness and adoption of the technology. Ford and its AV partner Argo AI eventually plan to roll out a large-scale autonomous vehicle service, and it's taking a few more baby steps to reach that goal. The two companies, along with Walmart, are launching an autonomous delivery service in Miami, Florida, Austin, Texas, and Washington, D.C. Ford vehicles equipped with Argo tech will be integrated with Walmart's online ordering platform via Argo's cloud-based infrastructure that will then route the orders and schedule deliveries to customers. The service starts later this year and at first will be limited to a defined area, but there are plans to expand in the future. Walmart ran a previous AV delivery test with Ford in Miami that started in 2018 and announced a collaboration with GM's Cruise unit in Phoenix, Arizona in November of last year. Well, it's official. Lucid is the first EV maker to get an official EPA driving range of over 500 miles, 520 miles to be exact. That's with the Lucid Air Dream Edition range with 933 horsepower and 19-inch wheels. If you want the 1,111 horsepower performance version with 21-inch wheels, the range drops to 451 miles. We recently said we didn't think the EPA numbers would reach that high, but we were wrong. And glad too, because that's impressive. And even though the Lucid Air comes with a big 113 kilowatt-hour battery pack, Lucid CEO Peter Rawlinson says the real secret to the long range is the, quote, race-proven 900-volt battery and BMS technology and our miniaturized drive units. By race-proven, he means that Lucid makes the battery packs for Formula E. Cadillac's top designers took Autoline on a comprehensive walk-around of the Lyriq, its first all-electric model that will come out next year. The designers took advantage of the fact that this is a completely new car with zero carryover parts, and they took advantage of the design flexibility that BEVs offer. In today's report, we'll concentrate on the exterior design. And one of the first things you'll notice is the stance and proportions. The Lyriq has very short front and rear overhangs, quite a long hood, and rather squat haunches. That gives it classic proportions. The body side has simple, clean, horizontal lines, yet a lot of surface movement. And notice how the character line below the belt line fades out at the wheel wells, then picks back up again. It's a design trick that keeps your eyes moving down the body and gives a feeling of motion to the design. These days, cars have to be designed to protect pedestrians in front-end collisions. There has to be enough crush space under the hood so it will deform if a head hits it. Think of crushing an empty beer can on your forehead. With an engine under the hood, there usually isn't enough crush space, so designers have to raise the cowl at the base of the windshield, which in turn raises the trailing edge of the hood, and that provides more crush space. But with EVs, especially if there's a frunk, there's plenty of crush space under the hood. So Cadillac's designers lowered the cowl. That makes the hood line horizontal, which makes it look even longer. And the front end is dominated by the grille, which of course is not a real grille, but rather provides a dazzling light display as you approach the vehicle. And it also hides the radar and other sensors. There is a tremendous amount of detail work in that grille involving laser etching to get the fine detail work in the lighting. Notice too the new Cadillac logo, which the designers say was inspired by the abstract artist Pete Mondrian. The lines in the logo are picked up time and time again in the detail work in the lighting. The rear tail lamps deserve special notice because they were designed to cleverly hide the cut lines on the liftgate at night. Note how the lights are segmented, which create a black and red pattern. And there's a black segment right at the cut line. It's a simple design trick that works really well. One other clever feature is the design of the rear roof spoiler. It actually sits above the backlight and directs air across the glass, and that allowed the designers to eliminate the rear wiper. And finally, take a look at the detail work in the wheels. The groove blades that fit between the spokes are there to improve the aerodynamics. Cadillac says it picked up 8 to 10 aero counts with them, which is a small benefit, But when you're trying to eke out the most efficiency with an electric vehicle, it's well worth doing. There is a tremendous design story in the Lyriq, and in another episode, we'll go over the interior styling. And speaking of the Lyriq, it's going to be the first Ultium-based vehicle to launch in China, which will happen sometime next year. But GM revealed it's not going to use the name Ultium in China. Instead, the Chinese name for Ultium will be Autoline. I hope I pronounced that right. And if anybody out there has some insight into the name, why it might be used, and its correct pronunciation, we'd love to know. A lot of times, a name of the same product can differ from one market to another because it has a different meaning or will not resonate with consumers. Hyundai may have the fastest product cadence in the business, and it's amazing to see how many new products it's coming out with. So how does it do it? Well, that's why we invited Ola Boyle, the Vice President of Product Planning for Hyundai Motor America, to join us on Autoline After Hours this Thursday. If you've got a question you'd like us to ask her, tweet it to us, just look for Autoline, or send an email to viewermail@autoline.tv. But that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, solutions for your journey. Intrepid Control Systems, over-the-air engineering, boost your game. Scheffler, we pioneer motion. And by Magna.